Ethan, whose shoes are those? Oh no! Baby down. Baby down. Meet Ethan Michael, my never dull moment 5-year-old. He's had my heart wrapped around his little finger from the day he was born, 1 week before my 19th birthday. Hey ladies, I'm Ruthie, and this is how I got from here to here. Before having Ethan, fitness used to come easily to me. I'd done track and field since the 5th grade, and got away eating pretty much whatever I wanted. Getting pregnant changed all of that. Getting pregnant at 18, the last thing I wanted was people in my small town to find out. So I got on a plane, flew to Europe, and spent the last trimester in England eating. I mean, fried chicken, full English breakfast, fried fish, and a dozen jelly-filled donuts from the bakery every single week. By the time I got home, I had gained about 60 pounds. So fast forward about 6 months. I'm a sophomore in college, I've got a 6-month-old baby at home, and about 30 pounds left to lose. This is when I looked at my body, and comparing it to what it used to be was devastating. And this is when I decided that I wanted my body back. Now, I've got a full course load, I'm completely out of shape, and I've never worked out without a coach, so being in the gym was very intimidating. What I did was work out with home DVDs in my living room for months. I did Turbo Fire, I did Shanti's Hip Hop Revolution, and that's how I lost the first 10 pounds. And that brings me to tip number 1. Start where you are. Whether it's working out from your living room, whether it's going for walks, whether it's eating the healthy menu at McDonald's, start with what you know and start with what you can do, and I promise you, you will get further than you can imagine right now. After working out in my living room, I decided that I've worked up the courage to actually set foot into a gym. So the only time that I really had to work out was in between classes. A few months of that, and I'm like, okay, it would be nice to have a shower after a workout, but I was not a morning person, and I was staying up late with my newborn. That's when I was doing my homework, and that brings me to tip number 2. Caffeine. If I could just zombie walk to the kitchen, get the Nescafe, put it in some hot water, it would give me energy to get my workout in, and I would go to the gym before going to class. So now I'm working out at the gym, and I decide that it's about time to start using some machines and getting in some regular weighted exercise. That brings me to tip number 3, doing heavy weights. I wish I had started this earlier because your body actually burns calories just from doing everyday activities like breathing and eating and sitting and moving, and something that affects that is the amount of your body that's muscle as opposed to fat. The faster that you can get a higher muscle to fat ratio, the more calories that you're burning just from doing your everyday activities, and the way to put on muscle quickly is to lift heavy. Now don't be scared by that. You're not going to get bulky. Don't be afraid of weights, because what happens when you put on that muscle is that you start to burn that fat more naturally, and that's how you get that toned, lean look, by having more muscle and less fat. The next thing that I did, which is tip number 4, tuck jumps, squat jumps, any kind of jumping exercise. Plyo literally means to contract and then expand or explode. When anybody asks me what's the secret to my legs, I always say plyo. It'll get your legs sculpted, it'll put on muscle where you want it. It's definitely something that's worth working into your routine. So those were the basic principles. Now tip number 5 is mindset. Your mindset, which is getting rid of excuses, looking for solutions, staying consistent, and giving 100% wherever you are today. And I could really sum up everything that I've said today in that one tip. Mindset, because I could have said, you know what, there's all these things stacked against me, I'm just going to put it off or do it next year. But instead, I looked for solutions, starting where I am in my living room with some DVDs, using caffeine to working out in the mornings, from group fitness to the weights to the plyo. And so I could really sum up everything just into mindset. I never would have imagined that I could be a model, especially where my confidence was and what I felt about my body at the time. But through fitness, I got my confidence back. back, and I was able to chase a dream that would have seemed impossible to me at the time. So I hope that if you needed a little boost, that I've motivated you to at least get started and get that mindset right, and stick with me and I'll share everything that I know. Leave your questions in the comments and stick with me. Let's get it done, ladies.